Guys, now let's get to the other game that we're going to highlight in full this week. And we're not highlighting it necessarily because of what happened in the game. It was everything that happened afterwards. I mean, a little bit happened during the game, but the official news came out afterwards. And this game is from Sunday Night Football. Toddy and I were waiting all day for Sunday night just to see a shellacking in Buffalo. And it was a snowstorm. And so I kind of expected it. But yet it still somehow got worse than even my expectations were, as the Bills beat the 49ers 35-10. And Toddy, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of dead inside. I mean, I'm wearing this Christian McCaffrey jersey just because there were so many people talking at the beginning of the pod, but I'm feeling pretty dead inside. And as the title of today's episode says, 49ers injury woes got worse. And so I'm dead inside. How about you, Toddy?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Kevin was telling me the line was 6.5, like before they even announced Brock Purdy's injury. When they announced he was playing, that line, well, it was more towards, the end of the week when it happened. Nothing really changed. I was not waiting all day for Sunday night. I kind of knew what was going to happen. It was getting it was a gloomy, it was like you're waiting for your demise. Like you knew what was going to happen. And you're seeing all the weather reports. It's snowing. People are shoveling the snow to get to their seats. And I was like, this is not going to end well. I mean, it got so bad that when I posted it, my own cousin, who has been on this podcast several times, he plays for the Commanders, swiped up on my story and said, belt to ass on on me posting the final score for the game. And I was like, you know what? I can't really say anything. It's getting bad. I'm not trying to like chalk it up to injuries because like before we still had like Nick Bosa was playing, Trent was still playing, and we weren't really playing good. But now Bosa's out. Purdy missed a game. We had to start again with Brandon Allen. McCaffrey's done for the year. Obviously, Ayuk has been out. Playing in the snow did not favor us, I'll tell you that. I mean, you got guys like, what's his name? Mac Hollins showing up. He's in no shoes. no shoes. And okay. That's great. Debo has not been playing his greatest. Moody's missing field goals. This is time to mock draft. Todd McShay, Mel Kiper. Where y'all boys at? where y'all boys at? We're 5-7. Now I get we're only 2 games out. Like there's a bunch of weird tiebreakers and shit that has to happen. But it's not looking like nothing inspired me yesterday from watching that game says that's the playoff team. Absolutely not. Josh Allen threw a touchdown to himself yesterday and scored a rushing touch. He caught a touchdown and scored a rushing touchdown. That's what the nerd stats and the fantasy guys, that's what they're counting. Nerd stats. They were doing whatever they wanted. I mean, we're fumbling at the goal line. We're missing kicks. Purdy's fucking throwing the ball, and he's fumbling. No one touched him. He's throwing the ball, and it's coming out of his hands. I mean, this team just looks like a shell of itself. Terrible. I mean, there's nothing that you can really say or do that really make this team like. I feel like the season's over. Mathematically, it's not over, but it's like we're done. Like, we still got to play the Lions. We got to play the Rams. We got the Rams coming up. I mean, we got the Cardinals. There's like someone's gonna you got to take me outside back by the barn, and it's time to. I don't want to say I want to blow this team up, but it's like people are wanting to get paid and people's contracts are coming up, and it's like, oh, Purdy, $60 million. Okay. I'm not seeing the $60 million worth of play right now. I'm not seeing that. George Kittle's talking about where my target's at. Jawan Jennings looks like the only guy that wants to play for. Like yesterday is the only one that. I mean, Mason's out. He was leading the league in rushing at one point in time, and now he's on injury reserve. Obviously, Christian, the PCL injury, he's probably done for the year. I question should he have even ever came back. I mean, I don't. He didn't look like himself in the games that he played, and I'd say the only game that he kind of looked like himself was the game yesterday for a couple of drives, and then he catches the ball and a toss around. He's just like, yep, there it is. Mind I add you, he swindled the 49ers for a pay raise right before the season started. Like, hey, like,
swindled. He was the best running back in the world.
Yeah.
You don't deserve that.
He didn't play, Kevin. He played like 3 games.
Hey, got to a Super Bowl.
Swindled.
When he's playing, Kaz, they love him. When he's not playing, it's swindle. You see how they treat your players over there in San Francisco?
Could never be me, bro.
Could never be us, man. That is just disrespectful. He put his line on the line for y'all.
Okay, now Kevin's just talking shit. If Saquon Barkley was demanding a pay raise and he didn't play, you guys
Saquon Barkley took us to a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And lost. And they lost. Doesn't matter because they lost.
Hey, you get to tell your kids.
I mean, we got some hardware.
Our quarterback is not playing well. Our offense doesn't look like anything. Ricky Pearsall has disappeared. I don't even think he has a catch in the last 2 games. He went from having that insane game in Tampa Bay to just not getting targeted, not catching the ball. Now it's what can Isaac Guerrero do? What can Deebo Samuel do? Can we get George Kittle the ball? I don't know what this offense is going to look like. I don't think it's going to look pretty at all the next couple of weeks going into it. The defense has looked piss poor. I mean, for God's sake, I think Diamador Lenore's played all right. Travarius Ward obviously missed a couple of games, mourning the loss of his daughter. So he's kind of been out trying to get back into the swing of things. Our safety play has looked good the start of the season. When Malik Mustafa kind of burst onto the scene, he looked all right. Jair Brown has not been playing well at all. I think Mustafa he's looked very solid in the run game, but I need you to cover. You're a safety, not a linebacker. I think Renardo Green has showed some promise, but he's still a rookie. As Blue is trying to tell me, your team sucks. I know. I think it's a lot to put together. It's like we're trying to put flex tape on a brick house, and it's like falling apart on us. And it's the season from hell that everybody was trying to warn us about, and I was like, there is no season from hell. We're going to be all good. I guess it's the Grim Reaper is undefeated.
To me, I have said this over and over and over again ad nauseum, but to me, it just feels like 2020 all over again, but it's starting to feel worse because, okay, Christian McCaffrey, he goes into the season expected to play, and then suddenly he's a game time decision, and then suddenly he's out week 1. Jordan Mason plays. He says to Lisa Salters after the game, yeah, they told me on Friday to prepare like I'm RB1, even though Christian McCaffrey was a game time decision. And so that was all kind of sus how they try to keep that under the radar. And then Christian McCaffrey is out, 8 weeks, finally comes back, and now he's out again. And as Adam Schefter said today, Toddy alluded to it earlier, Kyle Shanahan said that Christian McCaffrey did injure his PCL, and it's a 6-week recovery. His season now looks like it's over. And, backup running back, Jordan Mason, suffered an ankle injury and is also being placed on injured reserve as the 49ers lost 2 running backs. And as Kevin shared in our group chat, rookie running back Isaac Guerrero is now the starting running back for the San Francisco 49ers. It didn't get any better. Earlier, Toddy mentioned the fact that Travarius Ward dealt with tragedy with the loss of his young daughter. And it didn't get any better today as Sandra Williams, the wife of 49ers left tackle Trent Williams, announced Monday that the couple had a son, Trenton Jr., who was a stillborn on November 24th and didn't make it. And so not only are the 49ers dealing with injuries, but they're dealing with tragedies off the field. I mean, Ricky Pearsall, he could have died. Like, he's a fucking survivor. Like, we make all these, like, many men jokes and all that, but, like, Ricky Pearsall easily could have died before this season even started. And we kind of spun that into an inspirational thing because he survived, and it was kind of a flesh wound, which was honestly such a blessing. But we kind of saw the writing on the wall from that point on. And a lot of us just didn't see it for what was coming. And then even on more of a minor note, 49ers defensive lineman Kevin Givens tore his pec, and he's going on injured reserve. And so everyone is dropping like flies. It's very hard to be a 49ers fan right now because we go into this season with so much hope and optimism. And now half the team's stars aren't there anymore. And so before Toddy or I break into tears, Kevin, can you just share your thoughts on I mean, you could talk about the Bills beating the 49ers 35-10. Great game from Josh Allen, but the focus of this game and why we're even highlighting this game is everything that has gone wrong with the 49ers this year.
No, definitely, man. I was definitely, like Toddy mentioned in the beginning of his monologue, I was one of the guys who said just take the year off. To come in with not just one Achilles soreness, but two. And you guys aren't playing for shit. Not saying that you guys aren't a good team or anything, but if you guys were playing for something, it's different. But you guys aren't playing for nothing. Go ahead, keep him on ice this year. Use this year as like a red shirt. You know, if he can make a couple plays, make a couple plays. But there's no sense to run him like you guys do, coming off of his Achilles. And I know he looked great in the 2 games he was back, but as we all know, he is now done for the season, and that's going to linger into next year. Just like with the Greenlaw injury, another really good player that has a lingering injury going into the next season. But like I told Ty at the beginning of the season, it's going to be a shopping spree in Santa Clara next year. So come and get it while it's hot. Everything must go.
And Kaz, do you have any thoughts that you'd like to share about this game or the 49ers woes?
Can y'all smile for me, please? Just, I mean, come on. Can I get it? It's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. Goddamn, y'all are hurt. This like the 3rd week in a row I see Toddy. I'm like, I want to like text him like, man, are you okay, bro? Like, is there something you want to tell me, man? I know we don't know each other like that, but if we need to get on that level, like, man, bro, I ain't seen a smile in a minute. There's no way the Niners is causing this. Is it the Niners or is it DraftKings? Who? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they both have
I ain't seen my
share in there.
I ain't seen my man smile for a minute, but no, I'll just say it's unfortunate. The cool thing about CMC is this. Look, I think Kevin said it best. He took you guys to the Super Bowl, but you got to understand that dude has been getting hurt since Carolina. He's not the most healthy running back. He ain't
gonna get hurt with us.
He's just extremely fucking talented. So it literally is truly high risk, high reward. I mean, last year was the best season he's ever gonna have in his career. I'm assuming that. I think last year was his best season he had, like as a football player.
I'm assuming so.
It might just be one of those things where, like, yep, kind of like, you know, when somebody's about to pass away, you know, they have that one last surge of energy, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, they're themselves again, and then, you know, they pass away in 24 hours. That's just a state. That's a stage of death. Tendonitis to both Achilles, bro. And now the torn PCL, which I texted you guys. I'm like, that is literally adjacent to the ACL. It's the ACL PCL right here.
Yep.
I mean, at some point you got to think about like Luke Kuechly. Okay, some people retire on top because I'm like, yo, I'm just going to be out here. At what point do I got to break my femur to stop? Sometimes you got to be like, you know what, man? Like, damn. Like, I can still do this. Do I need the money? I don't know. It depends, but I don't think that we're going to see the same CMC that we've seen that we saw last year. I don't think he's ever going to be a bad running back. I think that he'll still be probably a top 10 running back, top 15 running back for sure. Throughout the entirety of his career because of his ability to catch and his just overall football wisdom. But like the guy who's a game breaker, you better surround him with a lot of weapons because I don't think that he can single-handedly take over games and win you games in the same way that Saquon Barkley is kind of doing for us right now. I don't think that's going to come back. So I'll just say it's just a tough break. Niners, you guys are just hurt this year. Very, very, very hurt. You guys don't have the easiest schedule, and this is the unfortunate result. The Cowboys are kind of in the same boat, and I fucking hate. We nobody likes the Cowboys, but we're not gonna pretend like them not having Dak Prescott, not having Parsons for multiple weeks, not having Deron Bland for like the entire season for the most part, not having Brandon Cooks for a little while. I mean, they just been hurt. I mean, what do? You can't do shit about it. The Cowboys are definitely a much better team than what the record shows right now. I do believe that. I don't think they're gonna fuck with us, but they might be more so around like where the Commanders are right now. I believe that for sure. 7-8 wins, somewhere around there. I could see that. But all in all, it happens, and it's happening to your team, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing to really say about it.
Yeah, and the reason why you're not seeing any smiles from Toddy or myself is as former rapper turned country artist, and I'm not talking about Post Malone, but as Jelly Roll has said, I am not okay. I'm barely getting by. And I could continue, but that's probably the best way that I could summarize how it's felt to be a 49ers fan lately. And so we shall keep it moving here on episode number 125 of Stats Over Politics. Shaun Holko alongside Jaevon Toddy, Kaz Johnson, and Kevin Dent. Guys, we went and cut along with that Eagles segment, understandably so, and even with this mourning of the 49ers of what they once were. And so let's